It's tea time, fools.
Hey there, fools. Big T here, and I'm back with another video. And this video kind of pisses me off. Well, not the video, but the topic of the video kind of bothers me quite a bit. You guys know one of my favorite words to use is nuance. Too many times these days, people want a quick, easy answer for everything. They want a quick reason to not like something or dislike something. And for me, as a logical thinker, I like to weigh all the sides to decide that way, because I like being fair. And I like to, not just outright dismiss something because I don't like it and look for argument to use against something that I don't like. So many times, a lot of fans of whatever consoles or video games, whatever, always look for that quick, I don't want to like something answer that will help them justify that. And I don't like to do that. So I'm a Nintendo fan. Obviously, you guys know my channel is focused on Nintendo mostly. I talk about other things, but I mostly cover Nintendo stuff. And sometimes I will hold Nintendo to task, and a lot of the fans don't like that. They don't like when I talk about Nintendo. They'll give me excuses, but when I talk about other companies, I don't hear those same excuses in defense of what I'm talking about. So I know that's just gonna be the case. There's nothing I can do about that. That's just the way people are. It's human nature. But I like to, again, be fair. And so here's a situation where we're talking about, quote unquote, illegal use or legal use when it comes to using Nintendo hardware or software. And you guys know that when Nintendo went after those websites that did ROMs or whatever, I didn't have a problem with it. They are within their legal right to do so. So when they took down these guys and whatnot, I didn't have a problem with it. And the thing is, I'm a person who uses ROMs. So I could have easily said, oh, I like to use ROMs. Let me run to the defense of these ROM sites. No, I know these sites are not legal. And I'll explain what I mean by this, because I'm talking about someone specific that Nintendo recently went after, who I watch as a YouTuber. His channel's name is Modern Vintage Gamer. I've been watching him for about 5 or 6 months or so, not very long. And he has a lot of, really cool videos about emulation and different hardware throughout the years of how people use their video game consoles to do emulation and to run different things that weren't intended for it to be used that way from the hardware manufacturer, like a Microsoft or obviously Nintendo or a PlayStation. But I find a lot of that stuff interesting. Even if I don't use it myself, I still find it interesting to see what people are doing. And this, game console cycle, we have the Nintendo Switch, and it's a very easy console to crack and to get it to do things. You can upclock it to get it to run games better. You can add different types of features that a lot of fans want. And I think that's where this particular situation falls in. There are a lot of people doing things that Nintendo doesn't want them to do on their Switch. They're doing, adding certain features to it, adding the ability to do music or whatnot, backgrounds for your main page, to add different types of, background pictures and photos, all kinds of stuff that we want as Nintendo fans, stuff that we can do on our 3DSs, make it more personal, do personal personal kind of software implementation or just features that we can use to make our system feel more personal, like we can do on 3DS. So Nintendo is basically embarrassed by these people who do this. They didn't want the Switch to be so easily crackable, and it is. And so now they're doing things to limit people talking about this type of stuff, showing the people cracking their Switches and doing all these types of things. And that is, I don't know if it's illegal for the censorship that they're doing right now, but it is definitely very nefarious and just immoral. The things that they're doing. They're using fair use. They're using ROM situations to go after people making videos based on, hacking your Switch. And like I said, Modern Vintage Gamer, he's the most recent that I know, a person that Nintendo has kind of targeted to get him to stop showing these, cracked switches and showing how people do it. And here's the thing: when you buy a piece of hardware, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with it. Outside of using it as a murder weapon, you within your legal rights to do anything you want to do with it. And so Nintendo is basically targeted his videos that show people using ROMs on their Switch, because they hacked it. So they're using, ROMs from the NES, Super Nintendo. And here's the thing: that is not illegal to do. As long as you have a copy, original copy of that game, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can put ROMs on your console if you want to. And Modern Vintage Gamer pointed that out. He showed that he had the games that he showed in his videos. And so because of this, he just decided to not do any more Nintendo Switch stuff. I don't know if it's Nintendo at all, but he's not doing anything Nintendo Switch related. Not just, because he does more videos than just showing hacking and all that kind of stuff. He's not going to do anything history related, anything news related, because Nintendo is targeting him. And like I said, he has the right to show these ROMs running on his Switch if he wants to, because he can do whatever the hell he wants to do with his hardware. And I think he's showing, I don't know if he's showing his own stuff. I think he is. But he has the games that are shown in these ROMs, and you have the right to do that. Now, the thing about emulation and ROMs, where I understand where Nintendo's coming from, is you don't have the right to go to a website and download a ROM. That is not your right to do. But you do have the right to have a backup of a game that you currently own. And so, however you acquire that backup is up to you. Nintendo can't prove how you acquired it unless they followed you and saw that you downloaded something. I don't know how they'd be able to do that. So unless they can do that, unless they can prove that you downloaded this ROM and you're using it on your Switch, they can't. Now, because you have every right in the world, as long as you have the hardware to do so, you can take any game that you currently own on disc or on cartridge or whatever. You can take that and you can make a ROM backup, and you can do that whatever the hell you want to do with it. You can put it on anything. You can put it on your cell phone if you want to. You are within legal rights to do so. But Nintendo was trying to weave around the rights just to get this guy, just to claim his videos on these matters. And so it'll thwart him from wanting to do those types of videos. And they won in this case. Sadly, he's decided to not do it anymore. And I understand his reasoning. The fighter in me wishes that he wouldn't do that, but I understand his reasoning for not doing so, not continuing on. He just wants to make videos, and he makes great videos, by the way. If you're into that kind of stuff, how to mod your hardware, stuff like that, his videos are really cool for that. And this bothers me. As a Nintendo fan, I'm not going to defend him for this, because this is immoral. This is basically illegal as far as I know. I'm not sure, but they're using the laws to weave around the rights of him to use this in fair use, because he has fair use to do so. He shows the games, the hardware, he shows his cartridges of these games, he shows his CDs of the games that he's shown in the video. So he has every right to have a ROM backup of that and show it on whatever hardware he wants to do so on. Nintendo doesn't have the right to tell you what to do once you've purchased their hardware. They have certain rights when it comes to their software, obviously, but they can't stop you from doing anything you want to do with their hardware. And this just bothers me to no end, and I don't support it at all. I don't do this kind of stuff on my channel, so it's, there's no way for me to, combat Nintendo at this, other than making this video, making people aware of what's going on. But this is just not cool. If you don't like people doing these things to your hardware, there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to deal with it. But how about giving these features, beating these people to the punch? Why don't you beat these hackers to the punch and give us these features that are very simple? Obviously, these guys have shown how to do it. Very easy things to implement. I'm not talking about running, all kinds of ROMs and whatnot, whatever you want to run on your Switch. I'm not talking about that stuff, but I mean like the stuff that would not, like hacking your Switch to do to do personalized backgrounds and music and stuff like that. These are things that they can implement that would make the Switch more appealing to more people. And so you wouldn't have as many issues when it comes to this kind of stuff. And like I said, at the end of the day, these people have the right to do whatever the hell they want to do with the Switch hardware if they bought it. They stole it, that's another thing. But none of these people, not that I know of, have stolen their Switches and are doing this. They paid their hard-earned money, and they can do whatever they want to do. Again, as long as they have the original copies of the games, those are the only ones they show. And I would advise people, if you're going to do that, if you're going to make videos showing hack this or hack that, make sure you at least own the copy that you show in the video itself, because that way they have no leeway at that point. Now, you can fight them, but obviously he said he's not going to. He doesn't feel like, going through the drama and dealing with it, and I don't blame him. So sadly, he won't be showing any more Switch videos, and that's just too bad for Nintendo, because this is the type of stuff that interests people in your hardware, and you lose sales because of that. And I guess they're fine. They're happy with the trajectory of the Switch. I'm sure they are. So it doesn't really matter to them at this point, but it's just unfortunate. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about this situation. Are you on the side of defending Nintendo for doing this? Like I said, unless you're doing something illegal, which he is not, he's just doing something they don't like. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I really would like to know. Thanks for watching and listening as always. And now, see you fools next time. Peace out.